Today on the grid, our topic is tips for better real estate photography, and we have a very special guest. Not to mention, Vanelli is here, and I am going to freaking blow the roof off this sucker with some amazing Vanelli news that even Vanelli himself hasn't heard. Erik, the one and only real Rocket Man, the can of ham, is here. We've got some cool giveaways to some folks who are watching the show live today. I'm telling you, it's going to be a fine day on the grid, and it all starts in just 23.2 seconds. Let's go.
The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Welcome to the grid. Let me tell you, it's going to be a day. We got so much crap going on today. There is stuff. But look how tall Vanelli is. Seriously.
It's crap.
What the heck? He's so dang tall. Why? Why is Vanelli? I've seen Vanelli in person a number of times. He is not that tall.
He might have patted his chair.
His chair, I think they did.
He might have.
Thank you, Juan.
He might have. Welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here. There is so much stuff going on, but I want to kick it off with my Vanelli news.
Oh, God.
All right.
After hours of consideration, I have carefully come up with a brand new nickname for Vanelli. I'm telling you, this is going to stick. It's going to be a thing. There's going to be shirts, hats. I'm telling you, this is big. Are you ready? I don't know if you're mentally ready for this. I don't know if you guys, everybody
I'm
watching,
trying to get in the zone.
Sit down.
I'm trying to get in the zone.
Ready?
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Vanelli Ice. Ice Vanelli. Come on! Who hasn't thought of that before? Vanelli Ice.
All right.
Okay.
Doom, 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 doom.
Thank you for not saying Millie.
All right, stop. No, Vanelli Ice. That's your rap name.
Oh my God.
You've got a rap name now.
I'll tell you what, if I could rap, that'd be pretty cool.
Dude,
If
I've
I could
heard
sing,
you
that'd be
rap.
pretty cool.
I've heard you rap. I've seen Vanelli dance, rap, and break dance, and I'm telling you, it'll burn your retinas. Anyway, think about it and tell me that's not the great Vanelli Ice.
Oh, my Lord.
Yep. He's no Rod Van Winkle.
He's no Rod Van Winkle, which is Vanilla Ice's real name, which upsets me that Kuna even knows that.
I was shocked, too.
How in the world does Kuna, the Rocket Man, know Vanilla Ice's actual given name?
Yeah, I'm full of just useless
So-
information.
All right,
that's
we
for
got
sure.
a lot to talk about, and we don't have that much time, and we have a very special guest coming on after this segment. So
Yep.
we're going to talk about all the stupid crap first. Big news. This is big. It's not chicken sandwich news. I wish it was.
All right.
Big news.
Yes.
So today is the day that Adobe moved generative fill into actual real Photoshop. There was a brand new release of Photoshop today. So the latest version of Photoshop has generative fill and generative expand built into it. However, there is a lot of talk about the credit program. All right, so here's what it is.
Credit program.
There's a
yes.
credit program, which Mike. All right, so here's what it is. If you have the photography plan, which I know you do, we all do, right?
Yeah.
All right, the
We're photographers.
$10 a month photography plan. All right, if you have that plan, you get 250 credits a month. So each time you do a generative fill, you use a credit. You have 250 a month, which equates to about 8 a day. All right?
Okay.
What happens when you run out of your 250 credits? Let's ask Vanelli.
I have no idea.
Here's what happens. Actually, almost nothing. You actually have unlimited numbers that you can do. However, what happens is for your 250 credits, you are at the priority list to get your generative fill done first.
Okay.
When you get past 250, you can still keep doing them unlimited, but it is possible that it will go slower. It just depends because you're no longer one of the priority people.
Okay.
Depending on what the server is at that time, you may notice no change. In fact, it is likely that most people will go past 250 and not even realize they've done it because they won't really feel it. But if there is a huge server crunch, you're no longer at the front of the line.
You get knocked down.
You get knocked
Just
down.
cell phone company.
Sounds like
Yeah, like a cell phone, like throttling kind of.
it also sounds like kind of what ChatGPT is doing with their service.
What
Yeah.
exactly?
You get the premium, and then you get the
Yep.
priority.
It happens like that. So it is unlimited. Also, I got the other part of this story. The other part of this story is if you have the full Photoshop Creative Cloud, you have 1,000 credits a month. So if
Oh,
you're
you're saying
paying,
like the Adobe Creative Cloud.
like you have the Adobe Creative
whole-
Cloud, the full
yeah.
thing, not the photographer's bundle, but
Right.
you have Premiere and Illustrator and
1,000.
InDesign, all that stuff. You get 1,000 credits per month, right? So $250 for the photographer's plan, and then unlimited after that. It just could be. So don't think that you get to 250 and then 251. You're like, I'm waiting for 4 minutes. I don't think it's going to be anything like that at all. Really don't think it's going to be. So there's that.
Famous last words.
I'm just telling you what I've heard. All right,
I don't think it will be either.
Nah,
It might be a few seconds longer.
yeah, it might be. It may be, but in beginning, you may not notice it
Yeah.
at all. All right, but also none of this kicks in, even though it's in Photoshop today. So go download your new version of Photoshop. It does. None of this kicks in until November 1st. So you have all of September unlimited, all of October unlimited. The credits do not kick in until November 1st. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, hit us up in the chat, and we'll be happy to.
So
like
the
chat's
good
over
news there is there's no price increase for it, right?
Yeah.
No price
that's
increase.
the other thing. So Adobe raised the price across the board on all of the plans, except the photography
Yeah.
plan. They didn't increase it on the photography. It's been since. It's 9 years.
forever, yeah.
9 years.
A decade almost.
And everybody said in year one, oh, they're going to get you in at $10, and then they're going to jack
go to
it up.
20
and
or 30.
Yeah, oh, they were all making all these pretty. Tell me what you buy that has not increased in price in the last 10 years, like-
a KelbyOne membership.
besides KelbyOne membership.
Us and Adobe. There you go.
Anyway,
I want
Sorry.
to say hair products, but
Sorry.
how would you even know? All right, listen. Vanilli ice, baby.
So that's a big
Mike kills me. He kills
Adobe news, right?
All right, we got other news.
What other
iPhones.
news?
iPhones came out yesterday, and I'm so pissed.
why?
I am so upset. Okay,
I'm not.
so first. All right, so first.
Oh, my Samsung.
Crap out of here. All right. So, first, I hear the rumors, and the rumors say that the iPhone Pro is going to only get a 6x zoom. And I'm like, I'm cranked. Oh, 6x, but why not 10? Samsungs have had a 10x optical zoom, surrounded by losers. 10x for like 3 years.
Yeah, I've had it since the S20.
Okay, you don't need to keep talking.
Ultra,
You just need to be quiet at this point.
I also have an iPhone.
It
I'm
must be
telling you.
great to have that kind of money. He's got
just-
a freaking luxury RV. He went up from the Mercedes, by the way. He had a Mercedes RV. Now he went up to this giant luxury, like it's like a Taj Mahal on wheels.
Please.
And he's got 3 phones. He doesn't just have one phone. Who do you know that has 3 phones? Like Elon Musk, maybe Bill Gates, and Kuna.
Because I shoot all the time. I shoot with them all the time. I'm sorry. I'm guilty as charged. I do. And you know what? I do prioritize that rather than going to Starbucks and
How
rather than going to
many-
get a bunch of chicken sandwiches. I prioritize
You
that
do
stuff.
get chicken sandwiches.
Very rarely.
Not true.
Very
All
rarely.
right. Listen. Don't
Definitely
listen.
don't go to Starbucks.
You're not in this
That's a
conversation.
suck of money.
Just me and Vanelli
So why are
Ice.
you upset about the iPhone?
Well, here's what I'm upset about. First, they didn't do 6 times. I wanted 10, and I was pissed that they were going to do 6. First off, they only did 5, but it gets worse.
Oh, no, but they didn't do 5 for everybody.
That's the thing. You have to buy the big-ass phone, the big one.
That's like
You
a
have
mini
to buy
tablet.
the mini tablet to even get the 5. So the one that I would get, which is just the Pro, doesn't get it. It's the same phone specs that I have.
But no, Scott, it has a 6x zoom range. Or no, a 10x zoom range.
No, it does. It does have a range of that, but don't let it fool you. I went on my Facebook page and I was
Zoom
sparky
range.
yesterday. I was in a sparky mood because people were just get it, Android, and whatever. It's like
that, and that's.
I said, hey, I said.
Different strokes. Different
Number one, it's not what the conversation's about. The conversation. So, do you think I'm going to go? Yeah, that's it. I have a Mac PowerBook and an iMac, and all. I'm going to get rid of all that stuff and switch because the Zoom isn't as much as I wanted.
No, you're not going to.
This is the dumbest thing in the world.
You know what was?
It's a phone.
You know what was interesting, Scott? Though, so you had on there people commenting also. Oh, just use a real camera.
Oh.
And I'm sorry. I go down the rabbit hole when I see that, and I start clicking around and seeing people's portfolios and their images. And you got to be careful that you're not casting stones.
I know.
I
will say,
saying, "Oh, use a real camera," and then you look at their work, and it's like, well, you probably would benefit from using an iPhone.
Well, the last time Scott was on, and you spoke about your travel photography. You talked about your backup camera. Somebody asked you, and he whipped out his phone.
48 megapixels.
Here it is. I can't tell you how many people on our Iceland trip that we just had did so many shots with their iPhone, and I was laughing because they said they saw you on the show.
Oh yeah,
and they're like, "Huh, this is pretty cool."
No kidding. Hey, my buddy Paul went to Scotland with us.
Yeah.
Paul's about 2 days into it, and he gave up on his DSLR, and he's been shooting a DSLR, no, mirrorless. He's been shooting one forever. He's very good. He knows his stuff. He sells his images and all. And he's like, I'm loving this iPhone. I'm loving the freedom of it. He had a Platypod with a little mount, and he just had a great time.
I love
and he
him.
got great shots. And I shot more shots. I can tell you. I just came back from my workshop in London, which we'll talk about in a second. I took more shots with my iPhone than I did with my mirrorless, my R6 II. All right, back to our story. So basically, I'm not getting the new phone. I was going to get it. I was going to order it, but I don't want it. My wife and I
was going to get it to you for Christmas. I guess not. But go on.
Well, I mean, if you're going to hand out phones.
Will it say Vanelli Ice Baby on the back? That's what I want. I want a phone case that says Vanelli Ice Baby. That should be your full name. You should change your last name. I don't think you really have a last name because you're using your last name as your first name. You should just be like Cher, doesn't really have a last name, but yours should be, and legally change it, your last name to Ice Baby. Tell me that wouldn't be the greatest name. Back to our story. All right. So now I get no new phone. And I would have, if the iPhone Pro had a 5, as pissed as I am, I still would have got it.
And just so we're all clear, these are first world photographer problems.
Yeah,
here,
well,
right?
Yeah, but
it is kind of like it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
It is.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Where it's like, come on, Apple.
I buy a phone every year. I'm not buying one this year, and neither is my wife because I don't want to move to a big phone. All right. Yeah. Hey, there's Paul, the guy I was just talking about. He says, hello from somewhere between Holland, Michigan, and Chicago. So Paul is leaving for Norway tonight.
Nice.
He's going to go hang out with Dave Williams. They're going to shoot some Vikings and whatever else that gets in the way of their car.
Nice.
And anyway, but that's kind of cool. Good luck out there, Paul. All right. But we have more news.
Awesome.
So this past week, I got to go up to the Adobe, the B&H Photo Build, BILD conference. You guys have heard me talking about it. It was unbelievable.
I heard.
Let me tell you what. First off, they were in the Javits Center, which is the New York Convention Center, but the Javits built a new 5-story addition. It's all glass. Wow. It's monitor. I mean, it's all glass on the outside. It's 5 stories tall. They did the whole thing in there. The trade show was a mob scene. I haven't seen that many people at a trade show in years. The whole place was buzzing. They had classes. I did a talk while I was there. I did one of the keynote presentations. The whole place was jumping, and it felt like the old days. I'm telling you, it was like going in a time machine back 5 years when we had huge trade shows. All the vendors were there.
Well,
and
B&H did it right.
B&H did it right. But here's the thing. Everybody was there. Sony was there, Nikon, because you'd go to Photo Plus and somebody would have dropped out. Sony's not here, or Nikon didn't come and all. Everybody was there. And the entire hall was jammed. There was people everywhere. They're doing photo walks. They're doing shoots. It was incredible. I was blown away. I knew it would be good. It's B&H. I had no idea the scale and the scope. It was incredible. New York has a new show, and I can't imagine what they're going to do next year.
B&H is made for doing this type of stuff.
Yes, they were.
On short notice.
Yep. And the other thing is, I just came back from my workshop in London. Oh my gosh, we had the greatest time. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. Now, I'm not near through, and some of these you're going to see, if I can get to it, something weird happens when they plug in an HDMI cable to my computer. It's very weird.
It's like froze for a second. It's like frozen.
Nah, it does that.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can just get to, see, it won't let me change programs or anything. Maybe I can show you after the break. I can't even get, wait, there we go. I need to go to
Something's
my
happening.
desktop-y.
Yeah, something's happening.
Yeah, this only happens though when you do this.
Yeah.
When you what you call it?
Plug it into the HDMI.
When you plug it into the HDMI, something weird happens, and it didn't used to, but now it does.
Yeah, my Samsung never does that.
Your Samsung never does anything because it sits in a drawer at your house. All right. What? It's funny. It's good stuff.
As I work. Oh, look it's stretching over there. I wonder. No.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. This happens all the time. All right, I'm trying to get to my folder. That all my folders are all jammed together now. Is that it? Oh, I found the folder. All right, I'm just going to whip you through some of these. These are some iPhone photos and some other photos.
Oh, wow.
Is there another way to do this? See if I can make it bigger.
Go full screen on it, yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm going to
you
whip
go.
through this. So this is an iPhone photo. That is the Royal Albert Hall, and I'm doing it.
That's not a real photo then, Scott.
I
Get
know.
a real camera.
I know.
Get a real
I know.
camera, Scott.
All right, this is the Baker Street station, which I really liked it. And this was doing a long, slow shutter speed. I wouldn't call it a long exposure, but a slow shutter speed on the Tower Bridge. Here's the Tower Bridge again. This is what I wanted to show you. This beautiful ornate palace is a sewage pumping station.
Wow.
I was able to get a private thing for just us photographers. We were able to put up tripods and shoot wherever we want. We had the run of the place. And so I arranged all that for my group, and it was really, really cool. But imagine me in the morning getting on the bus, right? Because we rent these buses that take us around London and go, okay, guys, we're going to a sewage pumping station. But actually, it's really good. It's a nice sewage pumping station. It's not horrible. And we had to drive like almost an hour to get there. And then we're driving. So let me get this straight. We did a dawn shoot, and then we drove an hour to go to a pumping station. But
Colors are phenomenal.
this was made in Victorian times.
I mean,
and
that looks like a crappy shoot right there.
that's,
That is an awesome, crappy place.
This is more shots of it, all right? And this is not it. This is not it. This is someplace else. I don't know where. All right, trivia question. Vanelli, ready? Vanelli Ice?
Yes.
What is that thing right there with?
That's the tower where Big Ben is in.
What's it called?
Oh, shoot. It was the Queen.
Keep going. You're so close.
Wow. I forgot. It was the Queen. Was it Queen Elizabeth?
Yes, it's the Elizabeth Tower.
Queen Elizabeth Tower.
Very good.
So I mentioned that I photographed. I got to photograph Big Ben, and all my English friends all said, "Of course, Vanelli got to photograph Big Ben." And what are you talking about? The world gets to. They go, "No, Big Ben is the bell."
Yes, Big Ben is the bell. Look at that. I'm Vanelli. I'm more impressed with you than I've ever been, especially
There you
with
go.
your new rap name. Is really, really good.
This is beautiful.
All right. So anyway, I got some more shots here. So this is, we got up at dawn and went to Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square. We went there at dawn so nobody would be there, and we waited till the bus drove into this so we could try to make the most British scene ever.
Yep.
So that's that. And then there's more pumping station. Anyway, I don't know. We hired a model and dressed her in 1960s clothes, and then we shot just subways and different stuff. We went everywhere, did everything. I like this one.
I love that one.
That's one of my favorites. That's Baker Street Station platform number 6. Mind the gap. All right. Anyway, that's kind of just a quick.
Awesome.
I
That's my
barely
favorite
scratched.
right there.
Yeah, that's my favorite as well. The light down there in the Baker Street Station is really, really good. And anyway, we had a wonderful time.
Were there any other people in that shot, or did you wait for that shot?
No, what happens is, Mr. Kuna, good question. Thank you for asking. When the train pulls up, everybody gets on the train and the platform is completely empty. And then, little by little, you can just sit there across. So you're sitting across, you're on platform 6, or you're shooting whatever that, I don't know, platform 5 or whatever it is. And you can just wait for people to walk right in the perfect place. I got like 70 shots from there.
Nice.
But anyway,
That's why I asked, because those shots are about patience and persistence.
Yes.
Yeah, but luckily you don't have to be too patient. Another train comes
Exactly.
like every 4 minutes.
But what I'm saying is, I notice a lot of photographers that just don't take that extra like 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're in a rush, because they're like, oh, we got to go to the next shoot. It's like, just wait a couple minutes. That shot will come.
Awesome.
Hey, I also have a tip for you. You do not have to buy a train ticket to shoot this shot. You can just buy what's called a platform ticket, which is £1, £1 and they'll let you go in there. You don't get on the train. You just go and hang out.
Nice.
For one. All right. Anyway, I don't think I have anything else. I think that's it for my stuff.
Well, I have something for you. Well, I brought the flowers again. The last time you two were in New York, when I did this.
Yes.
And again, the purpose of the flowers is from our friends in Ukraine to you for all the stuff you do. We really appreciate it.
Very nice.
So in the fields of gold, where dreams ignite, 3 sunflowers stood tall and bright. Their hearts ablaze with golden fire, Ukrainian souls they did inspire. So this is my tribute to you and your family. And I made a donation in your name to Valid Ukraine for all the stuff that you do in the name of your orphanage.
Oh, well done.
So for the spring, because coming up soon is when you guys will be doing Photoshop.
Worldwide Photo Walk.
Yeah, the Worldwide Photo Walk.
Yep.
So what I did was, in the honor of your orphanage, I put a donation to Valid Ukraine, and then we have it on our website for you guys.
You earned the name Vanelli Ice. Let me tell you. Thank you, V. That's very kind of you.
Thank you.
V's got the biggest heart and he's got the tallest chair. They're not related in any way. All right. We've got to take a break, but we have lots of shouts outs. I see some cool people in there. So coming up next, we have a very special guest. Charlene Sliding is here, and she's going to be giving us some real estate photography tips. Even though it says real estate tips, I think they're different. I think real estate tips are like when to buy,
What's the commission rate?
getting a title.
I hope we're not going on
title
that
agency and all that stuff. I don't think we're going. I got a feeling. So Vanelli is going to be back later in the show. So just remember. Vanelli Ice, baby. Let's kick it.
Hello everyone, my name is Mimo Meidani, a long exposure black and white photographer based in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Today, I'm gonna take you through the journey, 7 years journey of my photography experience. I will show you all about compositions, the secret I follow, and the experience and the journey I went through. I got the shortcut for you today. I found a way to practice and learn about compositions. We are going to talk about lines. We are talking about contrast. We're talking about frame within a frame. And we are going to talk about negative space to enhance your composition and enhance overall your photography. So please come and join me on my latest class exclusively at KelbyOne.com.
Create a sense of timelessness and romance and intrigue when you do your travel photos. Wouldn't it be great if you came back with these photos that literally take the viewer away, where they look at the photos and they're like, where's that? I want to go there. You've seen that type of travel image where all of a sudden you're just like, you're taken away And what it is, I think, one of the big things is the sense of timelessness. It's where you compose the shots, and it's not just when composing, it's what you do in camera and what you do in post-processing that makes all the difference in the world. Well, we just created this course here in beautiful Portugal where we show you how to create that timelessness. And what we do is we're traveling all over the city to show you again and again and again, here's how to create that timeless look that doesn't look modern, that doesn't pull you out of the romance and the passion of the scene, and it lets you tell a story, a timeless story. It's going to be that thing that helps you elevate your images to the next level, and we've done an entire course just on that. We're all over, walking everywhere, we're going across the river, we're showing you all kinds of different scenarios, but it's not just what we do in camera. It's what we do in camera and what we do in post-processing. So come watch my brand new class on creating timeless travel images, and it's exclusively at KelbyOne.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we are back, and we are very honored to have Charlene joining us. She is a very cool real estate photographer, and I met her at the ClickCon up in Chicago, where she was one of the instructors, and she was hanging out, and she's friends with Vanelli, which is not.
Oh, he's good people. He brings you flowers.
I know that was nice. I got to say that's so wrapped in the chaos that is being a friend of Vanelli's, which is a complete vortex of chaos. There's moments of tenderness. Have you noticed that?
There's quite a few moments of tenderness.
There's a lot of. He is a big teddy bear, wrapped in chaos and violence.
Yeah, it could be a lot of tender chaos.
A lot of tender chaos. A lot of tender chaos. Well, Charlene, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
This is your first time?
This is my first time on your show, yes.
All right.
Excited to be here.
And you are a real estate photographer?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
And,
good. We're not
how long-
talking about real estate.
No,
I
we're
can
not
talk
talking
about real estate too if you need
No,
me
please,
to.
no, please
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
No, this is a photography show. So how long have you been a real estate photographer?
More than a decade at this
All
point.
right,
Yeah.
all right. And I understand that you're doing a class on KelbyOne for real estate photography.
Yes, that will be coming soon. And we're working on the production of that, trying to make it a unique perspective for people to see a different way to approach real estate photography.
Excellent, excellent. And is it true that you came today with tips on real estate photography? 5 of them, if I'm not correct.
I'm open.
And like any good photographer, I might have just one more. You know how we always
Gotta
like
have
just one
just
more
one more.
shot,
Go.
just one more shot.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right. Before we get to that, you don't really need to see her, do you? Before we get to that, and we are going to get to that, it's time for Mr. Kuna to do some shout outs to people
we
all
also-
around the world
we
who are
have-
watching us today.
We also have the contest as well. So we got shout outs, we got people joining us, we got
Giveaways.
From Council Bluff, you got Doug saying hi from Council Bluff, Iowa. Then we have Carissa saying hi from Atlanta,
The
Jim
ATL.
saying hi from Wisconsin, Kevin saying always looking forward to a great show, Jesse saying hey from Wisconsin, Claudia saying hey from Toronto, Shelly saying hey to Grid Nation, Mariana saying hey from a rainy London.
Which
you lucked out because you didn't have any rain.
Zero rain because
Which
I
is
brought that
very
Florida
weird.
sunshine.
Very
Yeah,
weird.
I did.
And then from the Netherlands, we have
Good luck with that one, buddy.
Mayaki. I think Mayaki.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Could be.
Mayaki. There
I'm
you go.
sorry if we
and then
butchered your
I'm
name.
gonna. And then from Prague, Ivo saying hi. So
Or Evo.
Evo, yes. And
Yay,
then
cheers
Chris
from Prague.
saying hi from Milwaukee. Tim from Dallas. So we got people joining us all over the place. And I'm sure some people want to win some prizes because we love to give away prizes here on the Grid.
Gosh, we do.
So we're going to be giving away a copy of the How Do I Do That in Photoshop book by no other than Scott Kelby.
Let's
And
go.
then we've got the Adobe Photoshop book for digital photographers.
Who
We're gonna
wrote
be giving
that?
I wonder.
Same person. And then we're going to give away
prolific.
the Platypod goosenecks.
Oh, those
They
are amazing. Absolutely.
What are
Lucy and they're goosey.
There you go. And we're going to give away a copy of On One No Noise 2023. I know you've been using that way more recently because kind of been getting into that.
Oh, dude, I've been living in that thing.
I love
used
it.
to not do
I
noise
love it.
reduction.
Yes.
I literally would tell people, I do not do noise reduction.
Now you're addicted.
Well, because now
Yeah.
I'm willing to shoot at higher ISOs than I was earlier in my life.
Me too.
And,
Me too.
And I'm also willing to get rid of them. And it does a flipping great job.
It takes shot, like I was talking to you about, like 1600 ISO shots. You're like, I shot that at a 100.
I shot some shots in London you saw a couple of them. I shot at 25,000 ISO. You would never
25,000,
know.
yeah.
Wow.
Never know. Handheld at 25,800 or something like that.
It is amazing.
Ran no noise on it. There's no noise.
And it has sharpening included now too, which is nice. All right, and then we're giving away V-flats from V-flat World. We got one V-flat. This is U.S. shipping only, so
US.
you have to be U.S. shipping only. Everybody can get a discount though there over at V-flat World. All you got to use is that code Kelby10 at checkout, and that'll save you 10%. Then we're going to be giving away a copy of Retouch for Me. They're giving away the Portrait Volumes app, and on that one you can also get 20% off, but you have to use the code KelbyOne. Kelby120, so KLBYONE 20, and you have to go to a page that is www.promo.retouch4 and the number 4.me.
All right, can I tell you something
Wish it
about
was shorter.
Retouch for Me?
Wish it was shorter.
I got an email from their PR person yesterday that says, you may never have heard of us, but we're a company that makes plugins for retouching. And I'm like, I didn't want to tell Sam, the person that wrote, I didn't want to say, by the way, you're one of the sponsors of our podcast, but
Yeah.
'cause that would be embarrassing for Sam,
So you just did
And
an
so you
absolute
just
who's
job.
who's
Yeah,
never
so you
watched
just-
our
so you
show.
just
On
threw
air.
him under the
Yeah,
bus.
on air.
I just did. I'm like, come on, you sponsor our show. You give our viewers like discounts. By the way, that's part of being a sponsor. Is you got to give freebies and you got to give a discount to our viewers, right? That's part of our thing. So Sam at Retouch for Me,
We're here.
Thank you.
thanks for sponsoring. That's probably the end of our sponsorship right there.
All right.
Anyway,
So we got all that. But
So,
now let's
ladies and gentlemen,
go to some real estate
please
tips.
welcome to the grid for her first appearance ever, future KelbyOne instructor, current real estate photographer, and talented magician. I'm just making that last part up, but they'll never check.
I do make things disappear sometimes with Photoshop,
We are all magicians.
right? So there we go. I think we all are.
All right, all right. Let's give us a real estate photography tip. You know, a lot of people. That's one of the few places people can make money anymore, right? In real estate photography.
Everybody's gonna sell their house.
Well,
It depends on the market.
yes, it does. of
Because if
course.
it's a buyer's market or seller's market, it varies. Because quite often there are real estate agents, if it's a seller's market, who thinks they can use their iPhones. Now, iPhone pictures are nice if you know how to use your iPhone to do that. But tragically,
Most people do not.
real estate agents are really good at selling houses, not so good at taking pictures. So that's where professionals come in. So that is one of the top keys, is to be able to know your gear and what you're going to use in order to capture the right angles. You need to have a wide angle lens. I use my Nikon 14-24, but even then you have to make sure that you have it set so it doesn't look distorted, because you don't want at 14, it provides a distortion.
Yeah.
So personally, I shoot about 18-20. Also, you need to have lights. Not all houses are lit accordingly to bright sunny Florida day.
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago, so out there we have those cold gray winters, so you need to have your lights. So I use on-camera flash, and then I use also off-camera lighting. I use a Stella Reflex S to fill the room, and I also use a tripod. Tripods are so important. With the tripods, we have the traditional tripods,
Right.
but then Platypod's a sponsor. Love Platypod.
Sponsor.
Love them. I was at a conference a few years back and spent hundreds of dollars, got the equipment, and I like the Platypod because of the fact that you can have it in corners where you otherwise might not be able to get. I do have photos that might pop up, and if not, we can share them later, of behind the scenes where they show the corner of the angle. I couldn't put my tripod and my body, so I put the Platypod on there. And it's an amazing shot, because the thing is that I cannot tell the real estate agent, I'm sorry, I couldn't get the shot. My equipment wasn't, adequate enough. So those are key things to focus on.
You know, I read a really interesting article recently that photography has become so critical to selling homes that they are doing less open houses. that the homes are being sold based on the photography. That if the photography is good enough, you don't need to hold an open house. And they, I guess they held a record low number of open houses this past year, because if you have great photography, you can really see what the house is like. And now that doesn't mean that people won't go and see the home, but they're not having one of those open houses where all your neighbors.
Well, they're doing
come
a
in.
lot of also virtual tours now with,
Yep.
with that, where you can, you know, so yeah, it's a very visual market. Yeah.
Well, and with the market, right now we are in a buyer's market. So real estate agents have what's called a PLN. It's called the Private Listing Network. So what they do is they have me come out and sometimes just do the exteriors of the house because the homeowner doesn't have their house ready yet. And then I just take the exteriors and then I send them off to the agent.
What time of day do you shoot the exteriors? Like, what's your standard? Like, I'm going to shoot the exterior. Let's say that I called you and I'm a realtor and I said, hey, I need to shot the exterior house. Like, what, do you have a time that you go, or do you shoot it whenever?
Well, it's based upon the lighting. Everything's about lighting with photography, correct?
Right.
And so it's important to make sure I have the address and see which way the house is directed. So the sun rises one way, it sets in another, and then you have to pay attention to how it's going to hit the house. You need to pay attention to the shadows. Oh, and
Hey,
here
we
we go.
finally have some
Yeah,
pictures.
there we
All
go.
right, let's go.
Let's just step back. So this is the behind the scene for the Platypod Extreme I have now, but you can see my camera is over on the left-hand side of the picture, and within that you can see it's a very tight area. So a traditional tripod would not work
Oh,
there.
is that the picture that
and
you
that's the final
Oh,
shot.
that's nice.
And so you have to capture that. Can you imagine saying, hey Scott, I didn't get that shot? You'd be
Yeah,
like,
I'd be
what?
cranked.
And it sells the house because it's the cabin.
Can we see that picture again? That was really good.
I kind of know
And
what
the
I'm-
post, yeah,
Yeah.
the post is good too. Your post is great.
Thanks. Real estate photography is about angles, and that's one of the 5 things I was going to talk about. And we can skip around because, you know, that's what we do as photographers and artists. So composition is so important. You need to make sure that we have the lines directing your attention into the rooms that you're going. For this particular shot, you'll see the large windows that overlook the forest behind the house, and then over to the right you see that there is a fireplace, and so those lines pull you into those 2 different rooms and tell the story. Also, that vent, I personally don't like those. That's just my own opinion coming
The one
down
coming
from the
down?
yeah.
I love that vent.
See, I'm tall.
not
I'd hit my
crazy
head
about
on
it.
it.
I'm short. I would glide right under it like Vanelli.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Vanelli, ice.
Ice baby.
Yeah, it's not my
We're gonna just
favorite
like start a song. So, but with that, you can see that it comes down to the lines and composition. It's very, very important for that. So, but that being said, you also have to remove visual distractions. As you saw, that was a very clean area.
Oh, it's clean.
Too often people have stuff everywhere, and I say we stage to sell, we decorate to live in. And sometimes people are very much emotionally attached to their items that they have in a house, and so that they do that then. So,
All right, can I tell you something about that
Yeah.
photo we just saw?
oh, here's another one. Yeah.
So my friend Terry White, if that was Terry's house, Terry has a beautiful home in Atlanta. If that was Terry's house, the first thing he would do, can we see that picture again? Not that one, that one. Do you see the TV?
Yep.
You see the cords hanging down from the TV?
Those should have been photoshopped out.
Terry would never in a million years have that. Terry would spend whatever it took.
Oh,
That
yeah,
is
to hide
Terry's.
'em.
That is
Yeah.
Terry's pet peeve. If you see cables coming down from a TV, that is absolutely it.
So for full
I would
disclosure,
agree with
Yeah.
that one.
as photographers, we evolve. So thank you for calling me out on my lines.
I wasn't calling
No,
you
you did.
out.
It's okay though. You know what? That's how we learn. If you were that picture, what's this real thing?
Nothing.
Facts are facts.
Nothing.
So the thing is, it's nice that we learn as we evolve, right? And that shot was taken about a couple of years ago, and now I take the time and I Photoshop all of the power cords out. I also hide power cords and things. But do you see how your eyes went right to the TV? And that's the thing for people. I want them to see the room, not the cords. And so that's why it's important when you're doing post-processing editing to remove those cords.
So how much do you remove physically
gonna
from
be
the
my
room?
question, yeah.
Physically, what would you remove?
Like, what's the ethical line of like, I won't do this, I won't remove this?
So there's 2 schools of thought. For removing things in photography with real estate, you can't remove power lines. You can't alter the photo because otherwise the real estate agent can get fined from MLS if you do that. But for instance,
Major League Soccer? Okay, sorry.
or multiple listing services. Which,
Oh, okay.
Tomato. Yeah. Okay. And so with that, you can't remove the power lines, but you can remove stuff off of people's counters. I do offer a 4-page checklist for homeowners. The real estate agent gives it to the homeowners, and they go through everything to make sure that there's no visual distractions. And one time I took everything out of a kitchen, and the lady wanted her stuff in there, but it was a really brand new updated kitchen with the grays and the whites, and she had a lot of red accents on there. And with those red accents, it took away from the details of the kitchen. So we put it all away, and then when the real estate agent showed her the images, she didn't feel that it felt warm or welcoming. It didn't look lived in. And so I went back complimentary, because we want to make sure everyone's happy, and I shot it the way she wanted it, and then delivered those images, and she was like, oh, Charlene's right, that did look cluttered, you know? So sometimes you know best, but it's also about customer service.
It is. It's working with clients, working with other people. I mean, that's doesn't matter what, real estate or anything.
All right, I have one question to ask you, and then we have some questions popping in here. So first off is, can we real quickly just go over the gear again? So let's just say that I'm getting into real estate photography. It's my first time. What do I need to do to shoot my first home? Like, what gear is essential?
Nikon. Well, I'm a Nikon shooter. You need to have a camera that you can bracket, because I do bracketing.
All right,
I
so
do
you're
HDR.
So basically
Exposure
Nikon, Sony, Canon, Fuji,
Fuji,
whatever.
Yeah, all
system.
of those.
Yeah.
Any
All right.
camera that, and along with that, you need to have a tripod.
Tripod?
You need to have a platypod.
Platypod.
And you need to have lights, flash,
You mentioned wide angle lens,
wide angle lens,
and you shoot at about 18.
18 to 20.
Yeah, because you're trying to get a little closer, not to have so much distortion.
Right, and sometimes sometimes I even do 24. And then depending on the details are outside, I might use my 70 to 20 to pull in, like if there's mountains and the ocean, you want to pull that closer to you.
Yeah.
And you don't want that 14 to 24 because it's too wide of an angle.
What do you do if it's ugly outside the windows? Like, what if you do, like you're shooting a room and it just looks terrible? It's like, oh, junkyard behind their house, or what do you do?
So that's tricky, because if the junkyard is going to be removed, then you can not have those in your picture. However, that's part of the property. And so the key to any good photography, I mentioned earlier, is composition and angles. So if the junkyard is here, then you're just gonna go like this, and then no junkyard. So what I did was I haven't altered the photo, I just chose the right angle to tell the story in which we're trying to sell.
I see.
Yeah,
All right, we have
which
some
is our
questions.
jobs as photographers.
We have some questions. All right, the first one's from Stuart. Stu!
Stu's asking, the HDR look was very popular for real estate interiors a couple years ago. I never liked that look. Has it hopefully gone out of vogue?
So Stuart, you have to shoot for your client. I'm out in Chicago in the Midwest, and the HDR look, that's the thing. That's what my agents want. Recently, a trend has been to have them be a little bit darker, a little bit moody. So I would encourage you, it's not what you like, it's what the real estate agent who's buying your images like. So you need to know your
I would
audience.
say, again, doesn't matter if you're working for a client, that's what
Do
it
what the
is.
client wants,
Because
yeah.
like there's times when I shoot an assignment or a job, and I have to shoot in the way that they want it shot, not the way I would shoot it.
Right.
And so the answer, that's what really, Stuart, is it might not be the way you like it, but if that's what your clients are wanting, that's what you got to deliver.
And different parts of the country have a different standard of what the person wants.
Yeah.
And that's what's popular out with mine. So Stuart, when you go to my website and my Instagram account, because I hope you like it, Real Estate Doja, and you go there, you'll see they are high HDR, because that's what the clients in my region say.
Oh,
Oh,
look
and
at
here's
these
an image
nice
right
shots.
here. Yeah. So you can see this is HDR.
But it's an HDR in a
Yeah, it's not the old
tasteful
looking,
way.
Yeah, it's not the crunchy, crazy.
I think what's hard too with photographers, they
And
look
wait,
at
really
it
quick,
and
you
they
see
go,
that picture?
Yeah.
Oh, and I love this. Isn't that beautiful?
That is gorgeous.
The shot before that had the towels. I even make sure the lines on the towels are straight. And this particular shot that is up, you can see the back is blue because it was during the sunset hour. I went back and took this picture because there's a Swarovski crystal chandelier on the top, and it was $35,000. And so the homeowners wanted to showcase that chandelier, and if you had it during the daylight, how the sun was coming in, it blew it out. And so I needed, and that's another thing you have to pay attention to for those high-end features.
All right, we got some more questions.
Okay.
You know what? We better take a break.
Yep.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to answer some more of these questions. We're going to give a couple more tips. And then at the very end of the show, when everything is about to just go off the roof, we're bringing back
Vanelli.
Vanelli. We're bringing
Ice,
back
ice, baby.
Vanelli. Ice, ice, baby. Dun, 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 dun.
The chaos is coming back.
Ice,
Just
ice,
wait.
baby.
Hi, I'm Amanda Lusan, your posing coach. Come join me in my latest Ultimate Posing Guide. In this class, you'll be able to learn everything about posing, like pose your feet, your legs, your arms and hands, pose your whole body from head to toe. And also understand and learn how to facial expression and body expression. You learn how to pose with props. On the chair, sitting on the floor, lying on the floor. Can you imagine? And you will learn the foundation and advanced pose as well. Are you ready for this? So join me in my latest class on KelbyOne.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
It's coming.
Hey, we're back. Scott and Charlene and Eric, we're all here. Hey, just a couple of things real quick. We talked about the Photoshop updates today. If you don't have the update, hit the button called Check for Updates inside your Creative Cloud app, and maybe you'll see it there. But do I have it? Oh, there it is. My Photoshop
I just got
update
them too.
is just here. Yay. So, okay. But it wasn't there until just now. So
Yeah.
that's number one. Number two is Dave asked, what is the best way to delete the beta version? Dave, go in the folder and there's a thing called uninstall beta. That's the best way.
That's it.
All right. Some more questions for Charlene.
Let's see, we got Nina's asking, Nina's asking you, Scott. Just wondering which program Scott uses to process iPhone photos.
Lightroom on the
yeah.
iPhone. Yep.
Yeah. And you'll use Lightroom Classic too. Just input them in. Lightroom
Oh yeah, I'll
Classic, too.
also bring them in. The ones that you
Lightroom.
saw today all came into Lightroom Classic.
So just
I brought them
Lightroom.
into Lightroom Classic.
There you go. Gord Smith is asking, is drone photography a good option for real estate, or at least an addition?
Drone photography is a great option for real estate photography, but before we even talk about that, we need to step back and recognize that in order to do drone photography as a real estate photographer, you need to have your pilot license because you are considered a commercial provider and you will get heavily fined if you do not have your pilot license. So if you decide you want to go into drone, make sure you have your FAA pilot license.
It's a Part 107 is what you need.
Yes, you definitely need that.
Basically, you become a pilot that flies drones. So
But it's good for angles because there are properties that I go to where it's an expansive property, or if there's a forest preserve or any details that we want to touch base on, it's great to have that as well. Drone is also good for video, and both of those services are ways to enhance your offerings and increase your sales with real estate photography. So a definitely good option.
And a good point to make with the drone stuff is, it doesn't matter what size drone, whatever you're doing. If you're doing commercial work, you have to have that. It's the commercial work that the problem is. Brian Long asking, do you do virtual tour real estate photography? If so, what kind of gear do you use?
So for virtual tours, it's called Matterport, where you push the button and it takes you to the room, takes you to the other room. But right now, with that being seller's market, agents are not requesting and ordering that because that is another upsell in services, and the houses are pretty much selling themselves if they have professional photography taken for that. We do virtual staging, which is a great option also for properties. In doing so, then you're showcasing how the room can be used. A lot of people who aren't photographers are not visual like us, and they walk into a room and they just see dead space. But by having the property virtually staged, then you're able to showcase what that could possibly be. So that's another upsell too.
All right, we got some more questions. James wants to hear more on lighting. Does he only flash, or could you use continuous light as well?
You have to case by case. It's, with real estate photography, you get the same answer. It can be 2 + 2 is 4, 1 + 3 is 4, or 0 + 4 is 4. You have to assess it. And so depending on the house and the location, I use constant light or flash.
All right, so can we hear more about it? How many flashes? Like, let's just say, and I know every situation is different.
What's a typical?
A typical? I'm going to shoot a typical size house in a typical neighborhood on a typical day.
So I have my camera, I have an on flash, and then I do 5 bracketed and then 1 flash. So I do the flambient approach, and then...
The flambient approach?
Flambient, yep.
What is that?
You use ambient and a flash.
Oh, flambient.
Yeah, flambient.
I've never heard that phrase, but I like it.
Yeah, so it's actually very popular. And then I use my Stella Reflex to put in corners where it's dark. So a lot of people, if they have dark furniture, big pieces like bedrooms, the king size beds, it just depends. Then I use that to uplight and pull more light in.
So you're bouncing the light off the ceiling?
Correct.
All right. And you're just taking
on-camera flash, or you're doing that, really balancing it? No.
And you're doing 1 flash. You're just taking 1 single flash to the gig.
Correct.
All right. And you take a light stand?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So
Tate's
asking, do you have any formal training in real estate photography, or did you just learn as you go?
I have been taking training in photography. I've been doing that, and I've also been learning as I go. As you see, I now no longer have the cords going down. I do Photoshop those out. So there is some learning as you go and paying attention to the details. I know, I'm just saying, hey, that's how you learn. And the other thing is that real estate photography isn't just about taking a picture. It's also about the psychology of that. And that is one of my tips also that people need to understand is why is the property being sold? Did somebody lose their job? Is somebody upselling? Or there's a divorce, there's death. So you really have to know when you're going into a home why it's being sold, because of the fact that you are going to someone's home, they're being vulnerable, and it's easier if you understand the dichotomy of why you're there, because then maybe you won't touch something, or maybe you'll do a little bit more. It just depends. And and there's personalities involved too. For instance, there was one home I went to recently, and the mother-in-law was there, and she was taking Johnny to the park. She wanted to put sunscreen on him. The daughter-in-law had a baby on her hip who's crying, and so they're going at it, trying to figure out what's going to happen, a huge power struggle. And I booked an hour for the appointment. And so here they are in my first shot. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't ask them to get out of my picture, right? That would be rude. And so I go around the house and I do the back, but also then recognizing that that baby needed to be nursed. And so that mom was gonna be going inside at some point to nurse the baby, which meant that there was a nursery. And then you have to take a picture of the nursery. And if a baby's sleeping, if you make noise, it could wake up. So I had to make sure I shot the nursery first and any adjacent rooms so I wouldn't wake up the baby. So there's also that psychology to real estate. So you also have to understand body language and emotions. It's just not coming in and with a tripod and a picture.
Slapping it down.
It's not like that.
All right. Do you use any types of filters during your post processing? That's from Alejandro.
Yes, I do. I do HDR. I work in Adobe. I use Lightroom and Photoshop, and then I pull things into Luminar. Luminar is a great program for real estate photographers, and hopefully I'll be back to kind of do some post-processing work and show people how to utilize Luminar to make the pictures.
All right. What brand of flash do you use?
I have a Pro Photo
Tina.
Flash.
Pro Photo Flash? Well, well, you're running with the Kunas, aren't you?
You must have a luxury RV too. I don't know.
Probably a luxury RV as well.
Actually,
Gail-
I do.
There you go.
I have a fifth wheel. I love it.
I love it. I love it.
I had Godox though. I did, and I dropped it in the water, and I needed to get a new flash. So.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you know, pro photos are like the tanks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
yeah.
never going to
They're-
destroy
they're
them.
commercial
So why they are more
grade.
expensive, they will just last a lifetime.
They are. They're commercial grade lighting for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah.
If you go and you're in New York City or you're in LA and you need to rent lighting, you need to rent lights, and you
Yeah,
call
it's
whatever
gonna
camera
be-
store you call. It's
yeah,
going
it's
to
gonna
be
be-
Pro Photo. It's definitely. All right. Gail wants to know, what do you use to store your photos and share with your clients? So you're sharing it with the realtor or you're sharing it with the homeowner?
I share with the realtor. The realtor is your client, not the homeowner. And if a homeowner asks you for the pictures, you have to talk to the real estate agent because they're your client. Dropbox is a great format to do that. Also, SlickPic is a great website where you can upload pictures there. It's actually only for photographers, which is nice.
Oh
SlickPic
yeah, I
is
love
exclusive.
SlickPic. My
Yeah.
portfolio is in SlickPic.
Yep. And so that's where mine is as well. And so that's a great opportunity for the real estate agent to be able to get their images and showcase them as well.
All right.
Well, Doug's asking, do you ever use people or pets in your photos?
There is this website called Bad Real Estate Photos. It's a Facebook group, and I never want to be on it. And so I think if you look at that, you'll see that there's some interesting pictures. But I do sometimes take pictures of people's pets and photos and then remove them later, because then I give that to the real estate agent to give to their client as a gift.
I see. Yeah, because I mean, the psychology rule of thumb, you want the house to be just the house and no attachment to the current owner.
All right, we got to take a break from the questions because
Yes.
we still got some tips.
Oh, yes, okay.
So let's tip it out here because we got to
We're
get
running out of time.
we got to get Ice baby back on the set. So
Okay, so we've talked about using the proper equipment. We've talked about staging, composition. We've also talked about why you need to know the house is being sold, what the emotional dichotomy of it is. We've briefly touched base on upselling your services, knowing what to look for in order to make more money. And you also want to tell the story of the property. I don't know if we have an image that can be pulled up. Telling the story of the property is not just about angles and composition. It's also about knowing the added features that are in this property. There was a listing I went to. I always ask the real estate agent, is there anything special in here that I need to know about so I don't miss it? This particular one, if it will show later, it had a washer and dryer in the master closet. So that's really
Oh, there it
important.
is.
Yes, there you go.
that's a nice one. So it looks like an LG. That's a 2200 series. No, I don't know. That's very nice to have in your closet.
Yeah,
Oh,
right
I
off.
think that's the
right-
same one I have in my luxury RV.
Yeah.
Wow, that is. And that's the. Wait, this is
That's
a
his
picture
closet.
inside your
That
life.
is.
This is Kuna's luxury RV.
Whoops, I'm sorry. Just
That's
slipped
actually
out.
too small to be his.
But with this, again, it was the angles. We showed the storage in this expensive custom closet. And over to the left, you can see that there's this beautiful spa-like walk-in shower. You have to make sure that those robes are tied nicely and not cluttered. And then I also made sure all those clothes were organized.
You can tell the clothes have been organized. That's good.
But it's
Oh,
not a
my
visual
closet will look like
distraction.
that.
My job as a real
That'd be
estate
awesome.
photographer is to remove the visual distraction so people fall in love with the house before they walk through the front door.
Very nice. Do we have any other pictures that we can show? Because I just like hearing you describe the pictures and what's going on.
Me too.
Is there any more pictures? Control room?
Oh yes, the detail shots. So normally we don't take pictures straight up of a ceiling. That's not always like standard. But this one had a custom mosaic ceiling tile. And again, another Swarovski crystal lamp and light fixture, chandelier, whatever part of the country you're in, you want to call it. But you can see the leading lines going into the master bedroom, and also having the mosaic tiles. So that was an added feature.
Oh, that's a lovely shot. All right, what else we got?
Okay, so here, we had talked about earlier, real estate agents saying, oh, it's a buyer's market, they sell themselves. So this particular picture is literally a picture from a real estate agent with their camera phone. And so then I went in and I took this angle.
Oh, that's a lot better.
And then I took another angle.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see now that's really telling the story of the house, of this basement. And there should be another one there, boom, virtual staging. So now we put the virtual furniture in there so that we could discuss this.
Wait, so none of that furniture is there?
Nope.
That's slick. Where do you get the pieces from?
So it's again another editing technique where you put the furniture in there in processing. And so this was then a way to sell the property as an in-law suite. And so then if you can position and tell the story, hey, this is an in-law suite now, it's not just a basement. So that's where doing added value propositions to the real estate agents and saying, hey, we can do this, but then, hey, I'm making more money by doing that.
It looks so much better with furniture, just tremendously better. Wow.
So that's something else that you do is, that's the other tip.
Can I ask you, where do you get the furniture? Like, is it stock photography?
Yeah.
Wow, Adobe stock?
Possibly.
Oh, secret source. Well.
So I'm just kidding. It's not a secret. This particular shot is the picture of a basement. However, we also can use imagery for social media posts for my Facebook and my other accounts, because at one point the trend was black ceilings in the basement. So this really showcases the black ceiling in the basement and tells that story.
Do you know what color the basements are normally in Florida?
There are none.
That's exactly right. You know what's downstairs? Water.
Water.
So somebody's asking, an agent is asking, how do you show scale without people?
I think furniture shows the
I
scale.
think the furniture does help.
Yeah.
Now, how do you, when you're laying out that furniture, how do you judge scale? Do you judge it a certain
Well, this
way?
is going to be a cop-out, but I'm just such a visual person. I look at it and I place it. And I know there's
This looks about right.
You know what I mean? I wish I had I do this and this is my formula. I don't. I just do it. So I apologize.
No, that's fine.
All right. Well, did you have a bonus tip?
Yeah, I do. I have 2 last tips that I think any photographer should know, along with in real estate as well. Skip Cohen, you guys might know Skip Cohen.
We love Skip.
Yes, he's one of my mentors, and Vanelli. So we have to be nicer to Vanelli.
Ice Vanelli.
So he had said at a workshop I took at ClickOn, not everyone is your client, and I've really embraced that, because not everyone is my client. Before I work with any real estate agent, I have coffee with them or Zoom, because I have high standards, and if their standards are here, I don't want to work with them, because not everyone is my client. And the other one is never raise anyone to the bottom of the market. With that, I charge X amount of dollars for my images, and there are people locally that charge $100 less. I'm not meeting them there because I am this good and they're here. So those were my 2 tips of advice to you. Not everyone's your client, and never raise anyone to the bottom of the market.
How many homes would you shoot in a typical week?
Right now, because there's a lack of inventory, there's about 3 houses a week.
3 houses a week?
At the height of the market, my team and I shot about 14 to 20 houses a week.
That's a lot of houses.
Yeah, that's why you have a team, so that you can get out and do that as well.
And you take about an hour in the house, did you say?
Depending on the property,
Yeah.
and also the details. That particular house with the mosaic tile was a $2.2 million listing. And I probably spent about 10 hours, 11 hours at that property, because I was also doing twilights and making sure I had the right angles, and they had uplighting for their trees, and the Swarovski crystal chandelier, you had to make sure the right light on that. So just depends.
Yeah,
All right.
and that's probably judging how much it costs, right? Or how much you're charging. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, where can people go look at your work? What was your website?
My website is charlenesliding.com. There's no H in my last name, because my grandmother said my grandfather got the H beat out of him in the Army. Bump, bump, bump. So it's charlenesliding.com.
Oh, these pictures look wonderful.
Thank you. I happen to know the photographer.
I know the photographer now too.
And you can see like that custom shower, you know, and there's some drone imagery we talked about in Twilight. So there's that custom
that looks
shower.
like the one in Kuna's luxury RV.
Yeah.
That's it. How'd
It's
you get
smaller,
in there?
but it's, you know.
But that tells a story. And then there's the drone shots that also tell the story of that backyard property. And on the website, you'll be able to see some
Yeah, look, their neighbors are losers. Can we look at that shot again?
Right.
Look at
Right.
like what losers their neighbors are.
Look at our house.
But-
And there looks like a castle, and they got that nice pool, and then losers.
So back to the property I shot though.
Yes.
You can see that there's red umbrellas to pull your eye to that property. So you want to
Yes.
make sure that those were up. So I pulled those up.
Ah.
And you'll also know the quality of these images. This is on my Slick Pick account because the resolution, they maintain the quality. That's so important when you're showcasing your work to make sure the quality of your images are how they should be because you spend so much time on it. So.
All right, and so they can. Are you on Instagram?
Yep, real estate at Docha. There it is. I do
right.
need to, oh, who's that guy down there? I had lunch with him.
Who is that guy?
I wonder.
And
there's Paul. There's Paul.
There's Paul. Hey, Pa.
Yep.
And there's Vanelli.
Ice.
Ice, baby.
So there you go.
All right. Well, Charlene, thank you so much for the tips, and thank you
Yeah,
for
that
being
was
on
awesome.
the show, and thank you for bringing Vanelli over. You know, he doesn't get out very much, so it's really nice to see him out in the wilderness. All right, we're going to take a short break
speaking
back,
of.
and we're just bringing Vanelli back for just you to feast your eyes on him. We're going to lower his chair so he's not skyrocketing above us. And make sure you go follow Charlene on Instagram. Go follow her account, and we will see you guys after the break. Don't go away.
Now I know that a number of you out there are already using ON1's plugins, using them with Lightroom and using them with Photoshop, and they're expanding your power. You know how I know you're using them? Because you keep sending me emails and you keep posting comments that say, how are you working into your workflow? Which plugins are you using? Which ones do you use first? Which ones do you use last? Where do they fit in? I'm going to cover all that in a brand new course that I've done for you on KelbyOne. The course is called How to Use the ON1 Plugins in Your Photoshop and Lightroom Workflow. It all is designed from the ground up to work together, and it just works really, really well. There's so much neat stuff that you could be doing, and a lot of this stuff is AI powered, right? I hope to check out my brand new course. If you don't already have the ON1 plugins, if you're one of those people that slipped past the goalie and you don't have it, go to on1.com and you can download trial versions and see if you like it. You are gonna like it. You're gonna love it. All right, go catch my new class. We'll catch you next time.
I am a portrait and wedding photographer based in Valencia, Spain.
I do mainly commercial and editorial photography, and I retouch up to 100 photos a month.
We shoot almost every day for all kinds of clients, such as commercial, beauty, and fashion. And we retouch our work more often, like every other day.
I used to spend over 1 hour for one photo.
If we want professional results, we must remove skin blemishes, do micro dodge and burn, highlight eyes, whiten teeth, and even reduce wrinkles in clothes. And this can easily take me up to 2 hours of work for each photo.
So when I saw that there's a plugin for Photoshop that helps you retouch quicker, I was eager to get my hands on it.
I read many feedbacks about it, and I found a lot of positive reviews, which made me to consider buying my first plugin.
One of the challenges we have at the end of a session or wedding is to achieve an edition in our photograph that looks natural. This is where retouch for me has become a game changer.
I love the feature that you can pick how much effect it has on your photo, and you can adjust it accordingly to your style.
I saved a lot of time and always end up having amazing result with my work.
I am extremely happy with the quality.
Now I am more efficient and have more time to spare with my family.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Look who's back.
There he is.
Shorter than ever.
It's Vanelli Ice Baby. How you doing, V?
Good. Now I feel more normal.
All right, stop. Collaborate and listen.
You know, oh, look at like I just
my
launched
goodness.
Photoshop and now this lady's talking to me.
Wow, that's
There we
not
go.
annoying at all.
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, hey, look who's here. It's Vanelli. All right, I got to show you a video. It's a really short video. So when I was in London doing my workshop, right, I rented a capsule in the London Eye. So if you're not familiar with what the London Eye is, it was at one point the largest and still may be the largest and highest Ferris wheel. It's like a Ferris wheel, but you're inside an air-conditioned capsule, and it takes a half an hour to make the rotation, so you don't even feel like you're moving. I bought all of my students a lens cap that you put on the end of your lens, and it cuts the reflections. You actually put it on the glass. So you might see some people holding it or holding this big lens, but it does a remarkable job of cutting. Like you put it on the window and you can move your camera around. Dude, it cuts the reflection like you cannot believe. And so I bought every one of those, I rented the capsule, and I got a video. I'll show you the little video here. So can you guys see all right.
Yeah.
So this is us in the capsule.
Yeah, so over the front of their lenses, you got that big hood, and
Yeah,
you
you
put
see-
that up to the glass.
Yeah. So there's somebody. There's Howard with it on the glass.
And
and
these
there's
things
Willie,
work incredibly
Scotty,
well. Incredibly well. And what is it?
Crago.
They're very affordable.
Yeah, they're very inexpensive. There's one. There's a really good shot of it. There's Jen with and you cannot believe when you put it on that window. It's like there's nothing there. I mean, it's like you're shooting out of just whatever. It's really nice.
Who makes that?
I don't know. I got it on Amazon.
There's so many variations of it, Vanelli.
Also, I want to show you a picture of my lunch one day. Hold on. Let me rotate it.
Ooh, nice.
I got to rotate it.
I'd eat that.
You know what that is? That's a dirty dog. It's called the Dirty Dog. It was right next to our hotel, right around the corner from our hotel. Look at that. And buffalo chicken fries.
Ain't no chicken sandwich.
I figured I'm walking 25,000 steps a day. I'm going to eat some bad stuff. So that was one of them. It was bad. It was delicious. It's a hot dog with everything in the world they had in the kitchen on it. It's called the Dirty Dog. And Jason was there from our team. Jason said some remarkable things that we could not repeat today about the Dirty Dog, and we were dying. I got one more video. So here's us also. You saw that shot of the Thames River, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is us. This is us shooting it. And that's
So that was that shot of the Parliament Big Ben.
Yep, of the Elizabeth
You- I think you
Tower.
have to convert it to
Named
black and
the
white.
Elizabeth Tower for her 25th Diamond Jubilee.
That's what it
50th Diamond Jubilee.
The Jubilee.
And there we are.
This is a perfect reason why you need to go on a tour with a tour. You know, with a person like yourself who knows what the heck they're doing.
Well, you know what's interesting though, V? Can I tell you something? Right, you see us all shooting in the same place, right? And we talk about this actually in the classroom. I have 12 photographers and it's me and Mimo, right? You have 12 people shooting in the same place and you have 12 vastly different images.
It is amazing.
And I don't think people realize that. You think, well, you're all in the same place, you're all going to get the same shot. Because we have zoom lenses, because we can aim our lens different ways and compose, you get such different shots from the exact same place. So yes, we do go to an area and stuff, but people, look at Mimo's tripod there, back in the back, the world's tallest tripod.
Of course,
you can walk under it. I'm not
He's probably
joking.
shooting something right now.
Yeah. Oh
No,
yeah.
but I was at that exact same location, and I looked at your shots, and I was like, oh man, I missed out on so many incredible
It's the
shots.
long exposure stuff. Like that's Mimo's thing. Mimo's always really, he got me really into long exposure. Eric's really into it. I love long exposure.
I love it, yeah.
You know what? And I talked about this in my classroom. I actually did a presentation. No, this was the B&H thing.
Yep.
I was talking about simplifying photography, simplifying the shots. And I said, do you know one of the reasons why we blur the background behind a portrait is to simplify the scene. Backgrounds are busy and they're distracting. When you smooth the water, when you streak the sky, you know, all of those things are simplifying the scene. They're hiding distracting things. They're simplifying what you're looking in front of. When you put the portrait and the background behind it, you're separating them from the background. You're putting the focus on them and simplifying the whole thing. So there it is. What else do we want to? Oh, that's kind of it there. That's one of the
them.
lens hoods. There's a number of different ones, but that's it right there. And they're wonderful. They absolutely do a great job. They collapse down. You can literally put it in your front pocket, and they pop right back into the shape. Anyway, it was loads of fun. A great time, and I had such great people on my.
I had to take that simplifying the scene. I would write an article on that.
Oh, can I show you one more video? So this has nothing to do with anything except for. So I was in New York, and that's me. I was in New York, and that should be a video, right? That should be video.
I think the video's done.
Next one.
Oh, next one? All right, sorry, hold on.
That was the
right. So for the end of Photoshop World, I wanted to leave a message because I had to fly literally. We had Photoshop World, I had the first class in the morning. I flew to New York City to be at this B&H event. And I wanted to shoot like a video just saying, hey, thanks for everybody coming, because I always end, with a little video. Yeah. And I shot it on the streets of New York using a clip-on. I did have a mic with me, and my buddy Craig held the camera. But this is an iPhone in cinematic mode. Look at how good this looks, right?
Scott, get a real camera, Scott.
Hey, I'm back in the city.
And the audio.
Yeah, the audio sounds good.
Look at that. Look at that bokeh.
Look at that bokeh. It's just literally an iPhone camera, and look how great that looks. I mean, no lighting, no nothing. We walked outside of the deli where we ate lunch. I had lunch in a deli. See the arrow to the right? It's pointing to the deli. We ate at Mr. Broadway is where we had. Very good, by the way. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that video.
I mean, it wouldn't be the grid if I didn't mention Mike Cabasi. So
Mike Cabasi, there it is. How many times a day does Vanelli? I was just talking to him, and I said,
it is kind of a running joke.
You say Mike Cabasi more than any other word during a particular day. Oh, I was just talking to Mike Cabasi. Mike Cabasi just called me. Mike Cabasi. Mike. Oh my God! I talk to Eric 3 times a day. You don't hear Erik Kuna coming out of my mouth all day long. It's like. Eric, you know what Eric had for lunch today? You know where Eric was just a few minutes ago? You know what Eric's just called me from the Cape. He's over at the Cape shooting a rocket. He just called me. You've got a man crush on Cabasi. Big man crush.
We both do. So actually he called me to say, Vanelli, don't say a word. I go, what? I miss you, man. You've been traveling so much. We haven't been talking a lot. But he was on the set of The Chosen, and he did what you just did with the iPhone. I couldn't believe it. He put a clip-on mic, and he actually didn't even use a clip-on mic. And I was like, are you serious? I mean, I cannot get over the quality of the video and the audio that these phones have. Yep. Absolutely amazing.
All right, I noticed that you're wearing a Luminar Neo shirt. Is that a coincidence?
Underneath also.
Oh, got another one under it?
You remember?
Oh my God, he's wearing layers.
He said Luminar layers.
Luminar and Luminar, double Luminar. Now, I'm going to allow you this moment because you are a friend and because you are Vanelli Ice, baby. There's some new stuff that just came out on Luminar Neo. Blur?
Yes.
Relight? Or has Relight been there a little while?
No, not Relight, it's Studio Light.
Studio Light.
Yeah.
So and what we were doing is when Charlene was up here, I bounced back to do coffee break, and I just showed my new Relight. Actually, it's on Facebook. And the neat thing about it is, it's as if.
Oh, they'll do it in there.
Yeah. So it's right. If you look at my Facebook, there it is. Okay, good. And so the neat thing with this right here, it's as if you were in the studio. You could position the light sources, and then you could put gobos in between, which is really cool. So if you wanted, like a window shade or
if your studio's outside in the bushes.
Yeah, no. Well, so mine, So mine, you saw the one I sent you.
I did. You sent me a beautiful one.
So the studio itself. And the other thing I did with the puffin photos, I think I sent Christina the puffin photos that I did in Iceland. I got so excited that I did the blur effect.
Yep.
But there we are. So let's see if there's another one. There's one all by itself. There it is. So there's twisted blur. Now I know we've had that in Photoshop for many, many years, the blur effect. But here we have the Gaussian blur and the twisted blur. What's so unique about that is because Again, Photoshop is a graphics program, manipulating pixels. Here, to have that into this program, I just thought it was amazing. So yeah, I was able to do a little creativity. And like you said, I loved the term you just said, simplifying
the image.
The image.
Yeah,
I love
a lot
that.
of photography.
I didn't even realize I did, when you said that, I had to write it down. I'm gonna kind of steal it.
Hey,
sorry.
can I show you a picture of that dirty dog?
You did not simplify that picture.
Just look at that dog.
That picture's not simplified.
That is not simple.
No, but it's funny.
It is beautiful. It looks beautiful.
I had it twice while I was there. This is what I did in London. I went there twice and had the dirty dog. Can I tell you something? It was filthy.
But people go into your workshop in England at the same time we were in Iceland. We just missed each other.
I know.
But it's a perfect example how if you go with someone, we talked about this luck, L-U-C-K, laboring under correct knowledge. And if you have the luck, it's because you go with somebody who knows what they're doing. I can't believe the shots. Jim Nix helped me get so many amazing shots. My buddy Jacob in Scotland, because I'm not a landscape guy, and when you guys go out there and start photographing these incredible landscapes, I get a little jealous.
So do you drive? Does he drive?
Who, me?
I think he drives. You know what I think Vanelli drives? He drives a convertible with a
Oh,
rag top.
jeez.
Really?
And he puts the rag top down.
So his hair can blow?
So his hair can blow. But you know what's even funnier about Vanelli?
What's that?
He lives on the other coast of Florida.
Oh,
He does live on the other
So you
coast.
know he takes that convertible?
Where does he go?
A1A,
Beachfront Avenue.
That's what he does.
Tell your friends, folks. It's Vanelli
Ice.
So you guys figured out the A1A. I was hoping you were going to make that correlation.
Avenue.
Yep.
Rid of the cause.
So I'm expecting when you leave here, drop that rag top down.
Drop that rag top down. You know what? He grabbed his 9. All you heard was shells.
Falling.
All right. Vanelli, how do we end this show? Let's give away some prizes.
Yeah, we
Let's
should definitely
go.
should do that. So, Vanelli, who are we giving out prizes to?
You hosted the show a few weeks ago. You know what to do.
I'm just trying to pick. Who do you want?
Well, here, let's start with
you
Scott's
already
ebook.
picked them.
There's a list.
So Paul received Scott's ebook on how
Paul
I
McKenzie.
do.
Paul McKenzie, let's go.
Hello, Paul. And then Patrick Simmons.
Wait.
Sorry.
Wait. Patrick Simmons, the lead guitar player for the Doobie Brothers.
I will laugh if it is.
Do you think it's that Patrick
I'll tell
Simmons?
you what, if it is, Patrick Simmons getting some B-flats.
Or he has a private tutoring with Scott Kelby.
Yeah, I'll go out there.
Yeah, if it is that Patrick Simmons, yes.
We can play
Let us
China.
know.
We can play China Grove together. All right. Who else won?
Oh, you have Patrick Simmons and then Alan. I'm bad.
Blaka?
Blaka? Where'd they win?
On one no noise.
That's good.
And then is it Raul?
Raul, yeah.
Cruz.
Raul Cruz.
You run retouch for me. Tim Bird, you won the Platypod with the goosenecks. And really, Grumpy Mike, Tampa Bay.
Grumpy Mike.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought that was a name. All right, so Grumpy Mike, Tampa Photoshop for a digital photographer's book.
So the Photoshop for digital photographer
How do
is
they
going
get
to
these books,
Grumpy
Mr.
Mike
Kuna?
Tampa. They're going to email us over at gridprize@kelbyone.com and just send us your information. We'll verify your information and then we'll send you out your prize. Please make sure to do that by this Friday.
Because we'll forget who knows what.
If you
All
don't
right.
do it by Friday,
I do feel
it's
bad
out.
because this huge teleprompter.
Yes. All right. One more thing. Hold on. I think I have a group shot that I want to share from my group. From Groupon. It's not from Groupon. Let me see if
Groupon,
this is
wow.
it. Yeah, this is us. So this is my group. This is our opening night dinner. So it's the night before. That's Jason up in the front
Well, yeah,
row.
I was
We're
about
in
to
the
say, I see
Oaktown.
Jason over there.
Yep, and we are at a French restaurant right around this corner from our hotel. Very, very good. We had a great time. We had such a great group of people. We had so much fun. Nobody died the entire time.
I'll tell you what, you made a smart decision there. Going to London and eating at a French restaurant.
Yes, we did not eat in pubs. We did go to a pub a number of times, but we did not eat there. All right. You know, Vanelli mentioned Iceland. All right. So Mr. Kuna and I are planning on an Iceland workshop next year.
Mm-hmm.
We are banning Vanelli because you know what happens when you get near the what are those things called? The ice fields, the
The lava fields?
No, the other ones in Iceland, the Jorgismorgen ice fields.
Yeah, the Jokkalakalakar.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can't get too close to him with Vanelli because he'll turn him to ice, baby. All right. So anyway, that's going to be next year.
He's too cold. He's too cold.
Too cold.
It's sad you know these lyrics.
Hey, by the way, you ever see where he drives on the other coast?
A1A.
Beachfront Avenue. All right. We've roasted this show to death.
It was gonna be a good one.
Can we go one up on Vanelli? Can we go one up on Vanelli? I just want you all to spend a few moments looking into his eyes. You got to look at that camera over there. It's mesmerizing because I know that the way he fell in love with Mike Cabesi, you could fall in love with Vanelli Ice.
Oh.
Oh, the push. I love the push.
The slow push.
I love the push.
Oh,
keep it going.
Let's
keep it going.
This is it.
Oh, my Lord.
What's that song, I Feel Love by Donna Summer? I feel love.
Now, the best would be if they put up like a little dissolve and had Cabesi's picture come up.
That would be it.
That would have been perfect.
All right. Here's what you need to do.
Next time.
Before you leave, and I know you've probably already left, you know what you got to do? If you have not joined KelbyOne, you got to go join KelbyOne. We're cranking out the most amazing classes, right? You just met Charlene. She's working on one of our real estate classes. But I'm telling you what, we are on a roll. I don't think a lot of people know that we release a brand new class every single week.
Wow.
Every week we do a brand new class. A lot of our classes, many of our classes are shot on location all over the world. We go to wherever we need to go and we shoot them in a way where you're right there with the instructor. I'm telling you guys, you got to go check this out. So go to KelbyOne.com. Look at some of the ones we just came out with. We got the travel photography class. We've got Vertoramas. If you have not seen a Vertorama, they are amazing, and Padma, the instructor, is wonderful. That next class, which is taught by the guy that does my workshops with me, Mimo Madani. Mimo is a master of composition, and in that class, he shoots some things here on location in Tampa Bay that we're all just like, how in the hell does he do it? He has a gift for it, he's a great teacher. You're going to love that. Can we bring that back up again?
Yeah, he is so good at composition.
All right, and then I did a class on mastering all the new Photoshop selections and masking and all that stuff. We've got so many great classes in the queue. Some of them are already recorded, they're already ready to go. They're just in production. But you know what? Tomorrow there'll be another new class here. There's new classes all the time.
And what's great, Scott, is if you're starting out, you want to learn Photoshop, we have a track just on how to learn Photoshop.
Just for beginners.
Track just to learn how to do Lightroom. Track just to learn how to do
you took over the monopoly now because LinkedIn Learning is not really, they're gearing more towards business courses.
Right. We'll do the photography and the Photoshop and the Lightroom. Come to us.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Member for 14 years.
Nice.
So Dwight says, I agree. KelbyOne is awesome. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate you popping in there with us.
And you also have Amanda Lusan for posing.
We have Amanda. We just saw Amanda's thing. And guys, every week it's like, and here's the thing. All you have to dedicate is if you could take 1 hour per week, just 1 hour, say, I want to get better at photography.
Yep.
And also, watch some classes that aren't exactly in your genre. If you want to grow as a photographer, watch some classes that aren't necessarily who you see yourself as a photographer. For example, if you don't see yourself, well, I'm not doing real estate photography, I guarantee you will learn things that you'll apply to other areas of your photography. But either way, let's just say a week comes out and you're just like, I'm not interested in that. We have nearly 1,000 classes in our archive. You can go watch them anytime. Go to KelbyOne.com, get a pro membership, and we'll be learning online.
Yeah, because Lisa's saying, here, gotta join. I'm working in an in-house digital design department for a huge company. I always know all the latest techniques of Photoshop, thanks to KelbyOne.
Nice.
Thank you.
So then Teresa's saying, KelbyOne membership is definitely worth the money.
I love you guys. Thank you so much.
You know, Scott, real quick, my right hand, Richie Acevedo, he said, Vanelli, 14 years ago, the number one advice you gave me was stop buying gear, invest in education. and that's when he went to Photoshop World, KelbyOne membership, Roberto Venezuela.
That's straight from Vanelli Ice.
Yeah. It's
He
got to
can't
be
lie.
right.
It's got to be right.
Yeah, he can't lie.
He can't lie. All right.
He's smooth.
Vanelli, is there any parting words you want to give us? Where can people
No, but
learn
thank
more
you.
about you?
This was fun. Now, well, you know, I work for Skylum, Luminar Neo. I'm the director of education for Skylum, and I just want to give a shout out again to my coworkers over in Ukraine. Keep up the great work, and you guys, seriously, thank you for the support.
And thank you
that
for
show
the
them.
flowers and for that.
And just to keep them in your prayers, but they're cranking out amazing stuff, and I love the fact that all of them are turning into photographers, and they're so excited about having me teach them photography, and they just fall in love with it. So that's awesome. And much like you, with what you do with Photoshop in the very beginning, where you got to help change and alter Photoshop in there, it's humbling that we have a company that lets me do the same with our software. So get to make changes. Thank you.
All right, now, one last thing before you go, and I don't do this, and Eric will tell you, I do not do this for many people. I'm going to give you a one-up on the camera where you can talk directly to Mike Cabasi.
I don't think he's ever given anybody this opportunity.
Turn away. I want him to have privacy for this.
No,
I'm not looking. We're not listening.
I have love for the big guy. Thank you.
All right, we're back. Thank you, Mr. V. Thank you to Charlene for joining us. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to my awesome crew here at KelbyOne.
yeah.
They are the best. Thank you to Christina. Her team is #1. And we will see you guys next Wednesday. Kuna will not be here next Wednesday. Is this correct?
It is. I've been married for 20 years.
Oh my God,
And
congratulations.
We are going to
Yes.
celebrate our 20th anniversary.
So they're going off to celebrate their 20th, but we will be here. I'm not sure I think next week is going to be how would I edit your photo?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the plan for next week. We'll see you then. Have a great week. Use your jibs at home. Always use your jib. Oh, somebody's calling. Let's see. Maybe it's Cabasi.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my daughter. Not Cabasi. I know what she's going to say.
Chicken sandwich?
Are you on your way home? Can you give me a chicken sandwich? It probably won't be that. See you guys. Take care.
Bye, everyone.